Hey Alyssa, this looks great. I have some few notes on. I really like the shot cam that you picked. This three-quarter view is going to work really well. Thank you for doing that. And I have some few ideas and a few notes. And it's just adjusting some of the timing of some of the actions. Like some of it, I think, can be made like a little punchier. Um, I don't know that I have a lot of notes for you when it comes to like your poses and stuff like that, you know. Um, I do kind of like in your reference. So here your hands are like already kind of flat, almost like in anticipation of like how they're going to be posed when they touch the box. Maybe you can, just give them a little rotate or something, get them off the like how it's going to look when they grab the box, just so that there's a little bit more of a change. Oh, yeah, that's okay. I'm not too embarrassed by that hand. Okay, now I just got embarrassed. It didn't last long. But anyways, here you start to pick up the foot without shifting the rest of the body. I think maybe you just didn't get to it, but I think that it would be nice to see kind of like a down and up coming from like your center of gravity here when the character pushes forward. There's kind of like an up and a down, which also is fine, but I don't know. I feel like kind of a down up. I don't know why. I can't justify why I'm thinking that. But it's okay too if you want to keep the down and up. Like this settle down here works great for me. I think maybe here I would just watch on, I know the character doesn't have a mouth, but maybe if you could like clear the face a little bit from this hand, just drop it down a little bit. Have like a little bit of negative space here between the face and the top of this hand. Hopefully there's room for that in there. Yeah. There's something about this hand pose here that I think could be stronger. It's kind of reading like kind of that C-shaped claw. And I think maybe just if you rotated it a touch back this way so that we see just a little hint of like the palm, not super extreme, but just to kind of give it some more dimension. Get it kind of off of that claw shape or that C shape and just like kind of have a little bit more definition. Kind of almost like the opposite of this where we're seeing the back of the hand. It's like almost we want to see a little bit more of the palm there. Just a tiny note. But then overall the timing thing, I think when she opens the box, right now in stepped, it looks a little even, and maybe that's just because you haven't played with your timing. But I would think this is an opportunity to do something like kind of a little unexpected, and I find when you do timing like that, it can add a lot of appeal to a shot. So whatever you can do to like unstack the hands, I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to do that much, but maybe you could even though it's not going to make total sense, you might even be able to bring this hand kind of around the side of the box or something, have some fingers. I'm not saying these are the right pose. It's for you to like play with and decide. I'm just kind of saying, hey, it'd be ideal if the hands weren't stacked and we could get as good of a silhouette as we could get between those hands, so it becomes as intelligible as it can be about those two hands. But actually, getting back to the timing note, I kind of, it goes like from flat to open like this. I think it would be kind of fun to have it be slow, like really slow getting to a point. And maybe it's this point where you have it, but and once you do breakdowns and work out the timing, like maybe it can go really slow and then she just pops open the box like really quickly. So like timing wise, you go from here to here, and here. So, you know, take a lot of time to get to like this pose, and then have the pose at like 57, the pose at 62 closer together. Like maybe that could even be like, I don't know, just a thought. Or maybe, you know, she throws it open and the cat head pops out, which I love because I feel like now I'm looking exactly where I'm supposed to be looking. And then the only other timing note I have is when she goes into that up pose. I feel like this is a little slow and even in the timing here. So maybe that can all just be sped up a little bit and made it like a little sharper. I think too with like this pose, I love this hand pose. That's great. But if you can get it like out here, maybe, you know, so it's not like stacked on top of her arm, might be a little stronger. If this arm, you know, maybe you can get it up here a little bit more in silhouette. Something like that, just to kind of get it clear of the box and stuff like that. Just in general with all your poses, I think you're kind of looking to get things like clear. And that way we would see like what's going on here. Yeah. These are all tiny notes. I think like overall this is working really successful. It's just like a way to kind of like push it as much as you can. And you shot new reference for the approach and everything like that. Love it. Yeah, and then maybe on the last pose, now that I'm seeing it from your camera view, this is a nice pose, and I'm not saying, I'm just playing with it in my mind right now. If maybe the line of action would be a little stronger if it was like, because right now your line of action is kind of like this, and then it kind of goes down like this, kind of sliding it around. And it's not that I dislike this. I do like this. But I'm wondering if maybe the line of action could almost, let me see. There's ways to be fancy here. I'm going to copy that there. How do I paste? Not there. Okay, cool. And now there's a way to... Nope. I'm trying to move it over just so I can do a little comparison drawing, but maybe that's not going to work. But I'm wondering if there's a way to maybe bias it away and have it be a good pose, but that just may be just as good of a pose without really adding much. But maybe it's an idea worth playing with. I think it might be a little stronger. And I think what I'm saying here basically is just tip your chest, the torso over screen right a little bit more. I love the head still angling towards the box and the cat. It's an idea. It's an idea. But it may be a little bit stronger because it just gives you more contrast. And I'm always looking for places for contrast, you know? Like here, you know, the pose is like towards the box, right? And so once the realization's made to go to something like away from the box, it helps show a change, right? Yeah, I think I've talked about that enough. Sorry, I'm in my head right now thinking. What I'm thinking of is in your reference, like you kind of reach out with your arms, um, without your torso like changing shape a lot, which feels slightly unnatural, or maybe not the best choice for animation. So maybe when she steps towards the box, if you agree, that kind of maybe what we're going for is a little intimidation or trepidation about opening it. That if you can, again, like maybe there's more of a backwards lean, like she's trying to protect herself, so she's not super comfortable putting her head like near the box, and she only like brings the torso over when she has to. But that might be like here, this is great. I really like this. So again, it's the idea of like getting contrast. Um, but of course your arms are only so long. But maybe it's just on the approach. Maybe. And again, maybe here, like, there's just a little bit more of a lean back, a little more hesitancy to get close to the box, and then only when she has to. And I kind of maybe like the idea of these arms being a little bit straighter to kind of reinforce that idea of like, hey, I'm not super comfortable being near this thing because I have no idea what's inside. If it's like a monster or a bomb or rotten old food or who knows. Those are just ideas though. So take them or leave them. It's your piece. You get to decide. Um, detail stuff. Maybe like this leg could be like a little bit farther back with toe bend, and because it kind of looks like it's flat the whole time in the approach. Again, this is real nitpicky stuff, but it might be nice when she rises up into this pose that the heel lifts up off the ground, and you're going to want to justify that by having a need for it, and the need would arise because of the geometry, like the length of the leg isn't enough to do it without kind of picking the heel up comfortably. It doesn't mean the leg has to be like straight or anything, but just kind of an idea to lift the heel off the ground there. These are all just like tiny little ways of plussing it. And, it may help the idea of peeking inside the box, if like, again, because we don't have pupils, maybe this is also not the right call. But maybe like just kind of like peeking down into the box, That way it's like people don't want to get any closer than they have to a container. They'll kind of like lift their chin up to peek down over what would be like the front lip here of the box to see what's down in it. And then when she rises up, that's when the head would change like into like this forward attitude like you have it. Just again, thoughts, ideas, ways to push it, make it stronger. I'm sorry it's not cohesive. Like I'm not saying in this pose, these are all the things. I'm kind of going back and forth and just giving ideas about maybe ways of plussing it. All right, it looks great. Keep it up. Incorporate as many of those notes as you wish. But then if you want to do further breakdowns, that would be great. Although you have a lot of breakdowns here, so if you feel like you're in a good place to spline it, feel free to do that too. The truth is probably going to be like, you're probably going to want a few more breakdowns and then go to spline, but it just depends how you like to work. But I really like seeing this pose-to-pose method. It looks really great and strong, and I can't wait to see it as you progress. So thanks for the submission. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm seeing your note. I don't know why I can't see these earlier. Yeah, I think the note's great. I think your changes are great. I think the cat popping up is fantastic. You know what? I mean, I don't know. This is a huge wish list, right? But if the cap can pop up in a way where we see both of the ears, I mean, it doesn't have to be like straight onto camera. It can still be like kind of this way. Um, and then a real wish list thing. So this will read instantly as a cat if we can see both of the ears pop up. And I assume that they're there. But a real wish list thing for me would be if you could get like 2 little discs for eyes, and you know, that would really like connect the two, and it would make it super clear to the audience like what's going on. Yeah, and then yeah, just a, I think that that would be also a little bit stronger. Okay, I already said goodbye a couple times, so I mean it this time. But great stuff, and look forward to seeing you next week.